What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive and STP Productions, where our mission is to bring light to what's going right and to showcase and facilitate efforts that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. Be sure to check us out, spreadthepositive.net. And also, if you're looking to get involved with the STP Podcast Network, please reach out and just check out all the amazing shows that are on the network. We continue to grow. We continue to build. Be part of the solution. Be part of what's going right. Welcome to the show.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure and a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
This episode of the Spread the Positive podcast is brought to you by the 1200 Club supporters. Huge shout out to our good friends, Mary Fugit with Gateway Title. For all of your real estate closing needs, be sure to hit up Mary over at Gateway Title. The team at Gateway is second to none, and we highly recommend them for all of your real estate transactions, refinancing needs, and anything of the sort. Please check them out. Huge thank you to Mary. As always, we love you. Casey Broach with KK Fitness Training. Casey is a personal trainer on the Faster Way app. She has actually gone through the Faster Way herself. This app has a crazy proven track record of helping people get to their fitness goals quicker with a healthier approach, and it's changing people's lives around the country and around the world. Casey is killing it in this area. She is passionate about helping people. She's done it herself, she believes in it, and she can walk you through this entire process. So be sure to check out at KK Fitness Training on Instagram, and you can reach out to her via email, kkfitnesstraining@gmail.com. Big shout out to you, Casey. Keep killing it. We appreciate your continued support of the 1200 Club here at Spread the Positive. Thank you so much. Last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Pete Adams and Travis Swan over at Adams & Swan. Adams & Swan is your local advertising and digital marketing company that uses a results-driven approach to small and medium business revenue growth. They develop a custom strategy that is specific to your business and create dynamic advertising and digital marketing campaigns that deliver new clients and customers. Check them out at adamsandswan.com. Big shout out to my guys, Pete and Travis. Thank you for the support, guys. Means so much. Can't wait to have you in. Y'all be sure to check them out. adamsandswan.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. As always, got a really special guest today. Someone that I've connected with through Believers in Business. Excuse me, I'm doing this one-man show here. Miss Emily Treadway with Genesis Electric. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. So Emily has a really amazing story, in my opinion. I've heard her share her testimony and her story in our presentations at Believers in Business. Shout out to Believers in Business, by the way. Come see us Thursday morning, 7:30 here at Cedar Glade. Great group of professionals, Christian professionals, and it's just an awesome group. It's a great way to start your Thursday regardless, and you can visit twice, so come through. Yeah. We'd love to have you. Anyway, Emily, the way I like to typically do this is take us back to young Emily, early passions, just some of the stuff that kind of shaped the greatness that is today.
All right. Okay, if we want to call it that. So I guess one of the things that stand out to me the most in childhood was that I was always drawn to the broken.
Okay.
That was, and I knew that I was different in that because I never fit in anywhere, even though, socially standing I would fit the part. It just never fit the part because my heart wasn't in that. So from the time I was small, I was drawn to the broken, the one that someone picked on, the person sitting at the lunch table by themselves. Those were my people. Just, I could, even when others try to draw me in, that was, I couldn't.
You just have a heart for
broken.
it.
Yeah, and always had a mind for math, so that kind of went into the whole helping me in running a business and that stuff. So there were things, when you look back, you don't know when you're, growing up, but when you look back, you go, okay, yeah, those were God-given strengths.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, heart for the broken from an early age. Where did that take you? What did that kind of lead to?
Well, I remember being about 5 years old, and my grandmother lived across the street from a railroad track.
Okay.
And I spent my summers with her until I was about 15 years old.
Oh, cool.
So she taught me all the things of gardening and farming and all of those things. But whenever we were done with that, I would go walk the railroad tracks. I had a thing for the railroad tracks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Probably
Yeah.
a little roundabout. I love that, though.
Yeah. But I would pick up the stakes on the railroad tracks. And I had kept one for all of the years, which was really kind of crazy. And this is just part of, I guess, who I am on the table side, which is really, my heart.
Right.
But I had kept one of those railroad stakes for years and years and years. And one day, I guess it's been about 10 years, the Lord drew me under the Church Street Bridge, drew me there. Like, I can't even explain how it was just God.
You need
go
to go
there.
right here.
Take a pot of chili and go under there.
Wow.
Yes. And I had no idea that there were so many people living under there. And the railroad tracks runs right underneath it.
Sure does.
So when I was walking that pot of chili down through there, I looked down and I picked up another one.
No way.
Yeah, and I'm going, okay,
See, God. Little God wink.
Yes. And so I have both of those railroad stakes
wow.
in my office because of the reminder of what is, when you ask God, like, are you sure? Mm-hmm. And he says, absolutely. You're not gonna question
miss this one. You're not missing this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was 10 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. And that led to the table?
It did. And so staying with my grandmother, my grandmother was a cook, and she just cooked for everybody. And she cooked things that she grew, and she had this big long table in her dining room. And it always amazed me at people that would come in from off the highway. Every day somebody wandered in and wanted to eat at her table, and they would sit and talk to her about all their problems.
Wow.
And she would just love them.
Dang.
And I got to witness that. And so when I got my little table with my pot of chili, right? That's why I said, okay, this is going to be called the table, because my grandmother taught me to love people and to feed people. And that's all that's required.
Yeah.
Just to love them and make sure they're not hungry. And then when you search it that biblically, you're like, okay, that's
all it comes back.
And really there's no further obligation than that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's how the table took place.
Man. Shout out to your grandmother. What's her name?
Her name was Fanny Denton, and she died she died about 30 years ago. Yeah.
What a legend.
But unbelievable how much she loved people.
That's so good.
And I took that with me, and I thought, you know what? Okay, so I can do that.
Right.
And if I can do that, when I took that first pot of chili under there was 5 people that came and ate. They didn't know me. They did not know who I was. And then within, I guess, about 2 or 3 months, my children helped me with that. They'd go play the guitar under there, and they would sing and do church service. And it grew to about 75,
Holy
80.
smokes.
And I had to get bigger tables and more food, and it just grew. And we did that every Thursday night for about 8 years.
Wow.
8 years. And we had the most amazing church services, and people in the dirt coming to the Lord.
Man.
And now some of these people out here are my best friends.
That's so cool. God, it's giving me my feels. That's beautiful. Yeah. So the table, 10 years in the making, Thursday night services and food.
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's so, and it's a family affair. Your
Right.
kids are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's got to be so special.
It is special because through it all, the Lord needed to make sure that I knew that it was Him, because I found a lot of resistance in that, even in my own home. So I fought resistance, and I remember saying to my ex-husband, and I'm careful with what I say here, was I'll give up everything for this, and I mean it. And you're not going to tell me to stop one more time.
Wow.
But
Good for you.
it was a constant fight. But whenever God says, "I want you to do this,"
yeah.
and you know that it's Him, He has to come first.
Man,
Yeah,
that's powerful.
We fought a lot, and I loved it. My son Cody is a minister, and I have a video of him under the bridge, and all he did was say, on the count of 3, I want everybody under here to say Jesus, because there's power in that
Just
name.
word, yeah.
Yeah, just in His name. And so it was 1, 2, 3, and when you're under that bridge, this is where my heart,
boy.
my heart, it echoed.
Echoed.
I mean, it was so many people, and I have the video, and people were crying, and just the mention of His name, I felt that day like chains just broke off of people.
Wow.
And whether they went back and picked him back up, that's on
Sure.
them. But
At least
I
for
know
a
for
second.
a moment.
For a second, yeah.
Yeah, and my thought process is this. People say, don't you think you're enabling people? Don't you think that, I hear that all the time. If I can just get somebody to live one more day, they have one more chance to get it right.
That's it.
And I'm not required to make them change. I can't do that.
Right.
But if I can just help you stay alive for one more day,
Then you get
I've
one
done my
more
job.
chance.
Yeah.
Ooh. Come with the heavy hitters today. I love that. Man. That's so amazing. So that's 10 years of doing that.
Yes.
And resistance in your home, resistance. Was there other resistance?
Well, of course.
I hate to take it there.
Yeah, but you're gonna take it.
It's necessary. I think it's
Yes.
the overcoming stuff is something we really should celebrate.
Yeah,
so
for
if
sure.
you're comfy, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. So, there's been a lot of resistance. And then, so in the beginning, we were under the Church Street Bridge. And of course, then you have the issues with the camps and all of that stuff. And so CSX was like, no, not for just us. They're going to have to move. So then they started moving camps. The city started forcing the moving of camps. So it just really wasn't safe under there anymore.
Sure.
So, at 5 o'clock when we'd start, the train would come through.
Yeah.
And we'd be trapped in, and which I never was afraid,
Right.
I just never was afraid. I had one of my good friends that I've met through the years. He actually spent 16 years in jail for murder.
Jeez.
So he became one of my really good friends.
Wow.
And he went back to jail, and he had wrote me a letter, and he said, I remember the first time you walked under that bridge, and we all knew you didn't belong here, but somehow you belonged here. And that stuck with me because I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But we did it under there for several years, and then, of course, they had to move, and then a little building was bought for me, and I had a clothing closet in
Nice.
there. And bathrooms, and we fed there every Thursday night. Nobody bothered us because it was private property, and then went through a divorce, and his family took that building away from me.
Wow.
So now they have a little church for whatever they do with it there. That's on them.
Sure.
They have to answer to the Lord for that.
Sure.
But so that building was taken away from me, and then I just went to delivering into the camps.
Okay.
I would cook at my office, put it all in to-go boxes, load the back of the Jeep up, and just deliver all over town.
Man.
But then it took away, I was in a hurry.
Right.
So it took away the one-on-one. It took away the ability to give a message of hope. It kind of, and I thought, Lord, this isn't what you said.
Right.
And if I missed God on where I was supposed to stop and heal myself,
Yeah.
I think I might have missed God there. And
Probably.
that's okay to admit, because
Sure.
sometimes we miss God. I think maybe he wanted me to stand still,
Yeah.
and I didn't.
Yeah.
I was trying to force it just because I had such a passion for that. And I'm like, Lord, surely you wouldn't shut this down.
Right.
But sometimes he doesn't shut down, he redirects.
There you go.
And we miss, but he always brings it back.
That's right.
He always brings it back. So then we started serving over at the city lot across from the library. We did that for a couple of years, and then the city shut us down. And then they moved everybody down by the other side on Main Street in the lot there. But sometimes when people get caught up in, they start serving, and then it gets a hold of their heart, and it becomes a little bit selfish. And people start pushing, and I can't be in the middle of that. So we just kind of withdrew a little bit. So we are in a season of wait, but the Lord is, as of even this week, bringing things back around.
There we go.
And he's opening doors. We had a meeting on Sunday, and I'm so excited about some things coming up.
Okay.
And I'm just in prayer, like, Lord, protect what you've started here.
Yeah.
So we'll be serving Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Yay,
I'm excited.
look at that smile.
Because God can't, nothing can stop what God has put in place. It's timing. We get in the way because we're like, God, I want to do this now, and this is what you called me to do, and I want to do it my way. And I'll tell you this, and I know I'm just rattling
this is
on.
great. This is beautiful. Rattle
This
on.
is what I can talk forever
Yeah,
about.
I love it.
But I was in the altar at church one day. This was a couple of years ago. And I would just come through the divorce, and I was broken, just totally broken. And of course, the building getting taken away from me. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know what you want me to do here, And I was crying in the altar, and the Lord spoke so clearly to me and said, you've made this your own. And if you don't give it back to me, I'm going to take it.
Wow.
And the Lord will rebuke us like that. He will. And it's in love. And it didn't feel like
a threat.
It's just that doesn't belong to you. This has been mine all along.
Wow.
Because it can easily happen to any of us. And we make it who we are. We make it our worth. We make it, this is what I do.
This is who I am. Yeah.
No, we're vessels of God.
Child of God.
Yes, that's what we are.
Bars today. Yeah. We got bars. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful though. Man, I got questions. I just got questions.
Okay.
I mean, but I guess we got to keep it under wraps for a little bit.
Yeah.
Got to make sure things fall in place.
Yes.
Well, prayers up for that. All the prayer people out there.
Yes.
We'll get this out soon so that can be out and we can be praying for it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love, and that's just a testament of perseverance, dedication, reflection, all that self-awareness stuff that just like hits you.
Right.
Man, that's powerful. Let's switch gears just a little bit.
Okay.
Genesis.
Yeah.
So HVAC, electrical, all the things.
Yes.
And you've been in that world a long time too, right?
About 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the evolution of Genesis or how Genesis came to be. Because that's an amazing story.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I'm like,
It's a lot.
It's beautiful.
I got a fortune cookie the other day.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love fortune cookies.
And I do too. I'm like, okay, I know this isn't real, but whatever. I'm going to read it. And it said, a life of perseverance has been set out for you. And I thought, whoa, you have no idea. So I taped it to my computer screen.
I love it. Sometimes they're spot on, aren't they?
And I'm like, wow, that would be it.
It might not be real, but it might be real.
Yeah.
It might be pretty real.
This is true.
That cookie knows me.
That cookie knows me, yes. And I'm like, okay. So I had it, my whole life I have asked the Lord, like, okay, I'm going to get a season of peace, right? Mm-hmm. But he's taught me that that's up to me.
What do you mean by that?
Because things are always going to happen, and life is always going to happen. And he equipped me with some kind of strength that I can't explain to push through the hard things.
Yeah.
And it's up to me to be okay to say, God, I know you're in this, and I have peace in it. Because peace is in him.
Right.
Not in that circumstance.
Right.
The circumstances are never going to be just perfect. And I used to look at everybody else's life and go, oh, you've just got it made. And I'd get mad, you know, and I'm just like, and it's not their fault.
Right, no.
But we never know what's going on the inside of someone. So years I've been doing this work, electrical, and for about 25 years, my youngest daughter was about 1, I guess, when we started that business with my ex-husband, and worked through that business, learned the best I could, and then when it fell in my lap, I won't go into all the circumstances of that.
Sure.
Fell into my lap, and it was feed the kids or don't feed the kids. And you figure it out real quick,
100%.
and I asked a lot of questions. I had a lot of the electrical inspectors in town. I made friends with them, and I'm telling you, they taught me more than, like, they were so patient and kind with me.
That's awesome.
Which was really God's favor, I think, in that, and walked through that process. Knew I needed to learn every which way I could. I asked questions. And if you know me, you know that I'm not the kind of person that puts myself out there.
Sure.
I would just soon sit in the back and be quiet. But when it comes to my family and feeding my children,
You'll put yourself
whatever
out there.
I have to do. Yeah. So there was years and years of that process. And then once we went through the divorce, my sons went into business. We revamped. My middle son named it Genesis because it is the beginning.
There you go.
New beginnings,
I love
amazing
that.
things. So Genesis, just a fresh start and doing it different.
There you go.
And doing everything up front and transparent and on the table. And it was the 3 of us, myself and my 2 boys, and I say boys, they're men.
Sure.
But they're amazing human beings. And so they joined with me, and they started taking the responsibilities off of my plate so that we could all find what we were good at, and we've grown way past what I ever did by myself, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I decided to start, taking tests and growing things for their future. So I got my contractor's license, got my mechanical license, and so they can build houses.
Those are hard, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's hard. Yeah. I've heard those are
Yeah.
super hard to get.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said, God gave me a knack for math.
Yeah.
And that has been
That's
what has helped
huge.
me. Yeah. And I might not be able to go build you a house, but my son Andrew can, and I can pass the test and tell you all the codes.
We can, that 1-2 punch,
Right.
man. Wow. That's amazing. So where are y'all at today? What all is Genesis doing?
So we are, electrical, new construction, commercial, all the things, and HVAC. We do, maintenance, the customer care package that we have that's a monthly that, we come out twice a year and take care of, tuning up and taking care of your units. And we just built a new shop and did the
crazy.
build out ourselves. Growth has been
Did the whole build out
did the whole
internal.
build out.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
I gotta go check it out.
Yeah, you'll need to come out and
Yes.
see that. Yeah.
For sure. Well, that's incredible. So anything HVAC, electrical, top to bottom, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And like you said, up front, transparent, doing things the
Yes.
right way.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Right.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So we got Genesis, we got the table, family. I know you got some grandbabies, new grandbabies, and big old tribe.
I know.
So y'all got what all is happening for the holidays?
Oh goodness. Okay, so we're doing Thanksgiving on Saturday because getting a crew
Yeah.
that large together.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. My stepdaughter is a nurse, so
Okay.
her schedule's kind of funny, but we managed to get all but my middle son Andrew and his wife. They're flying out of town for
Okay.
that. So we managed to get everybody
Wow.
except
That's
So
quite a
it's-
feet.
Yeah, and then we're like looking at our house going,
Where's
we should
everybody?
build.
We need an
Not
addition.
quite big enough.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Big plans. What about Christmas? What do y'all do for Christmas?
I guess we're going to decide that at Thanksgiving.
Plan the
Yeah.
little rally the troops at
Right.
Thanksgiving and get a
Yes.
plan in place. I
Yeah.
love it. All right, so just a couple of the signature STP questions. Huge shout out to the newest member of the STP 1200 Club, Mr. Sean Moran with Red Barn Financial. Are you seeking a financial advisor who shares your values? Sean Moran at Red Barn Financial offers faith-based financial guidance. We'll help you make sound financial decisions that align with your Christian beliefs. Call Sean today at 615-619-6919 for more information. Big thank you to you, Sean, for supporting the 1200 Club. Be sure to reach out to Sean. He is amazing at what he does and an amazing resource for all things financial advising. Thanks again, Sean. I always like to ask people, in their opinion, what's going right in the world. I know that's a broad question, and I always like to preface it there's always usually a reason why you're here.
Right.
That's a good segue into that. So obviously, all things table, honestly, all things Genesis, the family aspect, like a lot of things in your world, I would say, are going right.
Sure.
So, do you care to elaborate on that?
Well, I try to look at the things that are going right. I spent a lot of time looking at the things that were going wrong and were fighting against me. And I have found that the more I look at what's right, the better I have of the direction I'm supposed to be going. Got married again 3 years ago. I can't even explain how right that was.
Let's go.
Right, because that changes everything.
Sure.
If home is right, everything else can be right.
Happy
You know what I'm
wife,
saying?
happy life.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we both came from really hard situations and hard marriages. And so finding that,
Common bond.
yeah, and I'll be 50 in like 3 weeks and he's 51. And finding that later in life, you look back and you go, gosh, I wish I had that sooner.
Right.
But it is going right.
There you go.
So it is what's right. And the joining of our family and the fact that he grew up in a very difficult home situation as well, being removed from his home at the age of 7 due to extreme abuse. And his parents were pastors as well.
Oh,
my ex-husband was a pastor. And so having that like-mindedness, though, I mean, you can look at that and go, this is terrible. But to your question of what's going right, God put two people together who understand what pain and trauma feels like. And when we go into the streets together, I never had anybody to go with, to be with me on that.
Oh, man,
but the
huge.
empathy he feels for people in that situation is priceless. And for once in my life, I can look to someone and go, hey, what should we do?
That's awesome.
So
what's his name?
His name is Todd.
Todd.
Yeah.
Shouts to you, Todd. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
God's big like that.
God is big like that. That's beautiful. So Todd's going right. What else?
The kids prospering, grandbabies prospering, walking with the Lord. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for, walking with the Lord. And the Lord's opening doors for the table again,
Right.
So his timing and we'll just walk that direction. But, I see even in the midst of the fight that sometimes the city puts against, what it looks like they put against.
Right.
It's a hard topic.
It is.
Because everybody has an opinion, and I can see it from all perspectives. I just know where I sit,
Yeah.
And so even in the midst of all of that, I see people coming out of addiction, which is amazing, and even if it's just that one or two here and there, that's going right. That's
massive.
amazing.
That's massive.
Yeah.
That's so good. What else? One more. Knowing the mission is spread the positive. Who's someone in your life when you kind of think of, focusing on things that are working, doing things the right way, treating people right? Who's someone in your life that comes to mind that really lives that out?
There's a lot.
I bet. That's why. I love it.
I'm gonna come back to my husband if
Let's
that's
go.
even an option
No,
here.
of course it is. Of course it is.
Because, oh gosh, some people, I always say they either love him or hate him because he is who he is. 100%, like
unfiltered.
Yeah, unfiltered. Yes, and you will, if you ever meet him, you'll know that. But it's coming from his heart, and it's not a disingenuous thing. It's I don't know how to explain it. When it needs to be done,
it's authentic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I have seen in watching his life. I could spend an hour or more telling you what he's been through in life, all the way up until 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Some just horrific punches in the face, like just absolutely one right after the other his entire life.
Yeah.
extreme trauma and abuse growing up and all of that, but to stand flat-footed and to say, and he admittedly will say, like, he has had, problems in the past with, band-aiding that,
sure,
with ways of things that weren't of God. And
sure.
then once he found the Lord, truly found the Lord, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to change other people's lives with this, and I'm gonna stand flat-footed. And so with all that he's been through, for him not to be someone that I'm giving a plate to,
sure,
and I mean that with no disrespect,
no, absolutely,
but he should be in that position with the trauma he's been in. So yeah, when I look at his life, I learned that God was not a judgmental, send you to hell kind of God.
Right.
When I look at his life, and we'd have this joke, and I don't know, you may want to cut this out.
You're good.
He was praying one day, and we had a desperate situation, and he said, "Let's pray right now." And he just said a couple cuss words in his prayer. Okay.
I feel like Jesus probably had him.
and if I am sitting here saying, like, I was married to a pastor for many years, so I've seen the church world and the church life, and I understand what I've seen work and what doesn't. Within 5 minutes, that prayer was answered.
No way.
And I said,
maybe we need some sentence enhancers. What do they call them? Sentence enhancers? Yeah, that's all it is.
But you know what? God sees the heart.
Yes.
And that proves to me that God sees the heart.
Man.
And we're judging people
100%.
on some of these crazy little things. And I'm like, wait. So, yeah, from what I see is authenticity.
That's beautiful.
And the genuine heart is truly what God is looking for.
Man,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. All right, last thing we do, something I call the grateful for.
Okay.
4 things you're most grateful for right now. We'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well, first of all, gosh, I'm grateful for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you sprung these on me. It's all wrapped up in my family. For them, that's my big. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve this community.
Yep.
In whatever capacity that he gives me.
That's beautiful.
And I am grateful for a merciful God.
Yep.
And I'm grateful for really good friends.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good grateful for. Off the top, no problem at all.
Okay.
Well, Emily, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work you do. It's been really cool seeing you share your story and kind of breaking back out and just letting people know that there is a lot of great stuff happening. There is a lot of people hurting, but we can't help those people. Where can people find the table, get tapped in, be able to can we volunteer?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a Facebook page called The Table Ministry, Inc. Haven't done a whole lot with it since we've kind of in that, situation of kind of a season of wait. So coming up, there will be chances to volunteer.
Okay.
But if I could say anything to anybody that says, hey, I want to make a difference, I'm going to say just go out and love people.
That's it.
Love people right where they are, and you're doing a huge part.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you again. Be sure to follow Genesis as well. If you have any HVAC electrical needs, they're the best. Be sure to check them out. And we'll wrap this one up. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.